concentration phase, momentum, and then there is stability. The best time to get in, according to all of the documentation that's existed in this industry, the best time to join an MLM company is during the concentration phase. At this phase, the company has been proven, but has not yet hit momentum. In the momentum phase, the company will experience massive, explosive growth at a very rapid rate. In this phase, the most millionaires will be born, and success is abundant for the masses. Guys, we've been around for only 2.5 years. Usually in the formulation phase, my personal opinion is that vacation right now is in the formulation phase. We haven't hit momentum. We're definitely not in stability. We're in the formulation phase. That's the most exciting time to get in before we get into concentration. Now, in order to appreciate the formulation phase, now there is a phase before formulation. Anybody want to guess what it's called? It's called ground floor. Anytime anybody calls you and says, girl, I got this ground floor, run for your life, hang up the phone, downtown. That is a quick, fast way to go ahead and get rid of a great prospect who understands this industry. Ground floor is too risky. 98% of most companies who go into business go out of business during their first 2 years. This is what we do professionally. So I'm not going to subject my family to that kind of risk, knowing that the odds are stacked against me. So in the formulation phase, we've been around long enough to have established proof of concept, but not so long where there's no longer a right opportunity. That's exactly where vacation is right now. Now, to help you appreciate even further, what does formulation look like? Mr. Iverson, I'm still not clear. What happens? What are some of the benchmarks or hallmarks we should look for during the formulation phase? Well, here's one. During the formulation phase, a company may experience some technical problems. That is to be expected during the formulation phase. During the formulation phase, there may be some delays with customer support. You see, if you call a company right now and they answer the first ring on the first ring, you missed it. You missed it. Wrong place, wrong time. They got all the systems already down pat. But if you call, girl, I called the company. I was on hold for 45 minutes. Girl, I was on hold for an hour. Girl, we in the right place at the right time. Gotta know what to celebrate, right? Guys, we're still working the systems out. So right now, if you get involved in a company and all the systems are perfect, you missed it. It's too late. It's too late. These are things that happen during the formulation phase. During the formulation phase, you may have delays in the timely receipt of products. I was involved in a coffee project. Now remember the stories. I remember the stories that they would tell of their existence during the formulation phase. And they would say, Mr. Iverson, in our first 6 months, when you ordered, we were selling coffee and we didn't even have coffee. Mr. Iverson, when we did get coffee, when a person ordered in January, they may not get their product until April. It's already warm now. Wintertime is just completely gone. Just now getting the coffee. But those who stayed during that formulation phase ended up having massive success. There may be enhancements and changes to the compensation plan during the formulation phase. Why? Because the company is still tweaking it. They're trying to make sure that they maximize the earnings of the people in the field while still building a robust business at the same time. During the formulation phase, you may add new executive leaders. Look at what's happening in vacation. We just added Jeff Corporate to the company. Give a round of applause to Jeff. He's doing a phenomenal job at the home office. You've got the incredible Barry Donaldson. This gentleman's built an organization with $600,000 in his downline, has made millions of dollars, has yachts and homes all over the world, helping us with the trade from a training perspective. Amazing talent. He's brought a lot of things already to the table with vacation. During the formulation phase, we may add additional products and services. How many of you are excited about the new Vacation Plus, where we're going to be able to offer essential services, things that are going to pay even more residual income? And then finally, during the formulation phase, you may lose key leaders. During the formulation phase, you may lose key leaders. Say it again. There's something called the pruning. There's something called the pruning. And to understand the significance of this, something happened in my life that brought crystal clarity to what's happening to some companies during the formulation phase. This is my house. This is my house in LA. In front of my house are 2 trees. Can't see them in this picture, so I'll give you a close-up. This is the tree. Now, I began to recognize on both of my trees that I began to have some dead leaves. And my tree didn't look as nice and robust as my neighbor's tree. My neighbor's tree had nice pretty flowers and was blooming and looking real pretty. My tree looked sick as all get out. My tree was coughing and wheezing and the branches were just wilting. And so I needed to call in an expert. So an arborist came to my house. An arborist is a person who specializes. That's a Jason Cross word. Arborist is a person who specializes in trees, right? So the arborist came to my house and he said, "Hey, buddy, look. What I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to do some cutting. I'm gonna have to cut off because some of your branches." I said, "Hey, but no, you ain't gonna be doing no cutting on my tree. You don't look bad. You just gonna come and start cutting on my tree." I said, "Do you have some documentation that you can give me so I can read up before you start all this cutting?" He said, okay, buddy, I'll email you something. So here's what he emailed me. He emailed me the arborist guide to effective pruning. I said, great, this is what I need before I authorize you to start cutting on my trees. As I began to read, there were many parallels between this man about to cut on my trees and what happens to companies during the pruning phase. It says here, pruning a tree can have many benefits. The first and most important is keeping the people around it safe. An infected branch can damage a tree at any time, endangering nearby people. Removing dangerous branches and maintaining a safe tree is always the best course of action. Now,
there you go.
The more I studied this, the more I realized that if I simply substituted the word company for tree and the word consultant for branches, it would apply in business. So when you read it, pruning a company can have many benefits. The first and most important is keeping the people around it safe. An infected consultant can damage a business, a company, at any time, endangering nearby people. Removing dangerous consultants and maintaining a safe company is always the best course of action. You see, in your business, sometimes there's some people who necessarily got to go. There's some people who, if they don't get out of your business, they're going to infect your business. It's called the pruning. So I said, let me read some more. It said, in addition, pruning can encourage companies to develop a stronger core structure to withstand the elements. The wind is going to blow in your business. It's going to get cold. It's going to get rocky. There's some things that are going to affect the core of your business. But if you don't get rid of those diseased branches, your core would not withstand the elements. Your company would not withstand the elements. I read some more. It said, pruning a company influences the direction the company will grow and whether the company will even reach its greatest potential. You see, we may never reach our greatest potential. Your team, your organization may never reach its greatest potential if certain people don't necessarily get pruned. They've got to go. People call me sometimes, I'm thinking about quitting. Well, go on, quit. Go on, quit. Anything you want to do eventually, you ought to do immediately. So if you want to eventually quit, quit today. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you a number. 1-800-QUIT. Don't leave. Now, it concluded that a properly pruned company will not have disease consultants that could lead to disaster later on in the company's life. Let me tell y'all something, right? We at a place now where we done got rid of some disease branches. And I believe that right now our company is stronger than it's ever been before because we're now finally ready to blossom and reach our greatest potential. Are y'all with me? Now, let me give you a case study. This is a real example of the 4 phases of growth at work. There's a company called Nu Skin that is a legacy company. The company is over 32 years old. Founded in 1984, and during the first 5 years of its growth, very, very flat. Nothing exciting, nothing dramatic. But between 1989 and 1990, That company went to $40 million in sales, and that prompted the concentration phase starting into momentum. And between 1990 and 1993, a period of 3 years, that company did over 600% in sales, went from 40 million over $240 million in sales. During that 3-year period, they hit momentum, they hit critical mass, and in a 3-year period, 500 millionaires were created. Look at where vacation is right now, guys. That's where we are right now. Guys, I've just shown you the reasons why you should be excited. Because we haven't hit momentum, we haven't hit critical mass. And guess what? Millionaire number 5, whether you were millionaire number 1 or millionaire number 500, they still had to call you a what? Millionaire. They had to call you a millionaire. You just got to get in at the right place at the right way. And guess when the pruning took place? The pruning took place probably between 1984 and 1989 because otherwise they would have hit growth and momentum. Now, some of you are still saying, Mr. Iverson, it's still not clear to me what formulation looks like. Okay, no problem. No problem. I'm going to give you some examples because I'm a visual person. Give you some examples of what formulation looks like. See, you may not know what that is. Wow, Mr. Iverson, what is that? Is that cream of wheat? Is that oatmeal? You know, it's just a kind of a mixture of blah, blah. Not pretty, hard to distinguish. But I tell you what, when that master puts his hands to it and puts that thing in the oven and finishes it up, you have a beautiful cake. So you can't judge it early on. You may not recognize what it is at the moment, but once they get done with it, it's absolutely something beautiful. Okay, so you still look like, I don't get it. Okay, well, here's another example of formulation. This is formulation halibut. Formulation halibut. See, this was Baps, New Jack City. See, this one that those Dorothy Dandridge, she wasn't the big roles, the millions of dollars. She submitted herself to some personal development, some acting classes, got some bigger roles. Let some people work on her a little bit. Oh, look at formulation halibut. Oh.